Wouldn't it be great the next time you pulled driver out of your bag, you knew you were going to hit it straight down the middle of the fairway with a little bit of distance and some consistency? Unlike the usual slices, the hooks, the tops, the terrible golf shots we see with the driver that we all really hate. And the good news is, this drill that I'm about to show you is going to get you more neutral, and there's one little thought that you can take to the golf course that means that you won't have all that clutter in your mind. One little phrase that I want you to take, once you've done the drill, you're going to start to see those perfect drives coming. One thing that gets overlooked in a lot of tip videos is the importance of strike and controlling of the face. And what I mean by this is that if we were to hit certain parts of our driver, because of the way that the shape is faced, because of bulge and roll, it will have a little bit of help coming back towards our target. But if we're getting it out of the toe, the heel, the bottom of the drive, too far out of the top, we're going to actually have real issues controlling where the golf ball goes. Because if we get it a little bit toey, we're going to see that the ball would work left. If we see that we get it heely, the ball's going to work right. This is for a right-handed golfer. And the reason that we would generally get is a lot of these missed strikes is that the club, as it's coming into impact when it wants to meet the golf ball, it's not traveling in the right direction. So we get a swing direction that is excessively working across the direction that it should be. Now, what I mean by this is that if we had a target line here where our ball is intending to go if it was going straight, once we put the golf club in, it sits at a certain angle. And this is the angle that this club's going to travel around our body, or we're going to try and get it as close to. And once I put this little hoop in here to show you this, what would happen if I were to tilt the hoop? The club's now working quite excessively across this line we can see there. And if I tilt it this way, which would be out to in, it's going to be working across. And as the club would travel down here, the heel of the golf club would generally meet the golf ball first, and vice versa. If we went too much in to out, what we would get most of the time is something where the toe would actually meet the golf ball first. And this is going to lead to improper strikes and a lack of consistency, as where if we got the golf club traveling somewhere close to the plane that it should do, what would happen, as long as we've got a good setup and we're balanced, ideally we would see that the middle of the golf club, the sweet spot, is actually going to meet the golf ball more frequently. And what that then means is that we're able to control the direction of the golf ball, we're able to control how it launches, we're able to control the curvature, and we're able to maximize our distance. We can't do that if we've got the club working excessively across the golf ball. We're just going to be very, very inconsistent. And this is the drill that we've got set up here. Now, you could do this with a club box. I like using a club box quite a lot because it almost feels a little bit more intrusive as we do it. You could do it with a head cover, but I think having something a little bit longer like this pool noodle, it's soft, so if you do hit it, it's not going to damage your golf club, but it gives us a good visual aid as well, because what we don't want to do is have that club moving excessively across the golf ball. Now just think, if I bring back the hoop for 1 second, if we have the hoop moving too much from in to out, what we would see on the exit, that's where the club's going to meet the pool noodle. If I moved it too much from out to in, going to meet it on the way down. So what we want to do, as we can see here, and this is where some people get confused in thinking that the golf swing is a straight up and down motion, because it sits on an angle here, we can see down at the bottom here there will be a small period where the club almost feels like it's traveling straight, but because we're sitting on an angle, once we work back and in, it's not going to be on a straight line, it's going to be working in a circle. Remember that word. And one other key part to this, I like to have this little T station set up because it gives us an idea of where our ball positions should be, and then gives us a little bit of an alignment aid with our body. What I suggest we do first though is take the ball away, and we're actually going to involve the yellow cane here that signifies where our ball position is, because that's going to also give us a line of to where we want to get the face to be square by the time it meets the golf ball. Because what we would see a lot of people doing is either A, as we said, coming too much from in to out, and hitting the pool noodle here, or we see too much out to in, hitting the pool noodle early. And as we do both these things, the face here, as we do this and we can see the close-up, actually wouldn't be looking square to the yellow line. It would actually be either open or closed to it as we're going through. And what that means is that we're going to get a glancing blow on the golf ball. So all I want you to simply do, and I said a moment ago, remember a circle. When we're doing this now, what we've got to try and do is feel that as we've set up and we create our good setup, we've got our feet in the right position, the club's sitting at that angle. I want us now to imagine we're going to work the shaft in a circle around our body, and we want that circle to stay on one consistent plane. What we don't want to do is take it back on one angle and then on the way down tilt the circle steeper. Or what we don't want to do on the way down is turn the circle excessively shallower, because what that will start to do is get that club working too much across the golf ball. So simply have some golf swings where as we're making it, we feel that the club travels around, and as you're doing it, what you'll notice is that it comes in a little bit from the inside, squares up along the pool noodle, and then exits back on the inside as we go through. Have some swings where all you simply think about is moving the club on that circle plane around your body. Move it around on the circle plane. And the only added little thing that we want to do, if we were doing some slow-mo ones, when we get this club working on that circle, what will naturally happen is you'll start to release the golf club in the correct manner. But by the time we get to where the club would meet the tee, what we want to check is now that this face is matching this yellow line here. What we don't want to see is that it's pointing out to the right too much where it would be open, or we don't want to see it would be pointing out to the left too much where it would be closed. Simply think of your circle, and as you come down and stop, see that that shaft and that face are now matching that yellow line that we've got that signifies our ball position. Once we've done that, we're in and we follow through. What we would start to see is that the club now would be tracking back, and that sweet spot is going to get into the middle of the golf ball. That's going to pump your smash factor up, it's going to get you longer drives, and it's going to get you more consistency. So we take that every time. Not the best, and obviously as you're doing this, you're going to go through them at a smaller, slower rate than we normally would our full out drivers, because we've got to get used to actually swinging on that circle. But even that shot there wasn't my best strike. It was just a little bit heel centered, but look how straight it's gone. And that's because I've not got this excessive movement across the golf ball. Get yourself up and have a little practice swing each time. Think of that circle. Imagine drawing that circle. It might be your hands that you think about, the way they work around the body. They're staying on the same plane as well as we're going through. It might be the club head that you're drawing that circle around your body. It could be the shaft, but whatever we want to do is try and keep it on the same plane as we're going through. Avoid excessive changes, whether that's steep or shallow. We're trying to feel that we're just drawing a circle around our body. What we're going to start to see is that we get that better strike, and we start to get more balls that are going more and more down the fairway. Now, once you're happy that you've done some rehearsals, some practice with this, and you can vary how close you bring that pool noodle or box or whatever it is you're using to the driver, the more consistent you get with it and the better your circle is with the golf club, the tighter you can bring it, and you'll find that your strikes really start to improve. But when we go to the golf course, I told you to remember circle as a word, and that is all we're going to have. That is our one swing thought, our one swing feeling. We get on the course, we can see the fairway, we're going to take dead aim down the centre, and from there then in our practice swings, all we're thinking about is drawing that circle around our body, letting the face stay square to that circle, which it will do by itself if you've done the work. but simply think of the circle and we should start to see we find more consistency with our driver. Well, that one would do. Going down the middle of the fairway, and that one simple little drill there and that one simple little thought is going to help you get more out of the driver. It's going to start to find that little bit of consistency and perfection. Instead of clouding your mind with loads of thoughts and trying this and everything else, just try and find that circle to find the sweet spot and get the most out of your driver. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. If you have, why not check out one here, which I really think will help you improve your irons.